Hello and welcome to Fact or Fiction, a show where we discuss what made the news this week and whether it was real or not. I'm Suyash Barve and with me is the always alliterative Jency Jacob from Boom. Hi Jency, how are you?
Good, and it's been a very busy week this week.
Alright, let's jump right into it then. Let's start with a story that triggered a great deal of outrage across Mumbai and in fact the country. The Hindu reported on a video that was recorded during the Mumbai Stampede. This video appeared to show a woman being molested while she lay dying. I'm sure many of you have seen it on your timelines, but Jency, that's not quite the story, is it?
Yeah, Suyash, at multiple levels, this is quite a sad story. The Hindu, which is quite a credible newspaper, and the readers have a lot of trust in the newspaper and the reports they put out. They carried a story on 1st October where one of their reporters, Vedika Chaube, talked about a clip, an 8-second clip, which actually showed that one of the rescuers or one man who was standing near the railings when this incident happened, he was molesting a woman who couldn't be saved eventually. Now she looked at that 8-second clip and she came to this conclusion and she put out this story. The story was also shared on social media, on Twitter, and she tagged Mumbai police and she said that can you please check what has happened here. Now most people on social media did not agree with it because they said that that 8-second clip is actually too short for anyone to reach to that conclusion whether this man was molesting or whether he was actually trying to be of some help. Now there are other videos. There's another 43-second video which was also put up by multiple users, and they said, look at the sequence of events, look at what this man is trying to do there. In fact, the Mumbai police jumped into it. They found out where this man is and they interviewed him, and they said they came to the conclusion that they wanted to believe his story because he said that this woman was lying half out of the railing and his body was supporting her, and when he tried to hold her by the chest and tried to pull her out, all that he was trying to do was to somehow save her.
Was to pull this woman to safety, essentially.
And the Hindu has come out with a retraction. They have said that they did not follow all the journalistic principles that they should have before they put out the story, and this 8-second clip was not enough for them to come out with the story. They have taken the story out of all the online editions.
Right. While this isn't intentional fake news, the story itself, as it was originally reported, was certainly false, so we're calling that a fake. Of course, the initial story and how quickly it went viral is probably a good indicator of how we always seem to want to assume the worst in people, don't you think, Jency?
Yeah, that's true. That's
yeah.
true.
I mean, it went like wildfire and was quite instant.
Yeah.
All right, we switch over now to a story and an image that gave many a parent a mini heart attack. Jency, did a child cut up several thousand rupees worth of notes for a school project?
The first question that I want to ask there is that, first of all, what were these parents doing? 21,000 rupees, now that if you count all those 2,000 rupee notes and the 500 rupee notes, it amounts to 21,000 rupees.
That definitely wasn't my pocket money when I was a child.
And
so I didn't have access to that kind of cash.
And in fact, what left me wondering is suppose if I was a parent there, the first thing that I would have done is not click a picture, would have spanked my child.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, this story is fake because very clearly, if you look at the images there, now SM Hoaxlayer, one of the fake news busting sites, they have put out this image where they said that 2 of the notes had the same serial number. So it is very clear that these are very high quality photocopies of the notes and cut into the size and shape of the currency. And then this girl, for a school project, she cut out Mahatma Gandhi's image and she was making a project. So this is clearly not original notes. In fact, many of the websites went out and wrote stories about how the mother saw this and she had a shock, and a beautiful story.
No fake news story is complete without elaborate backstory.
Yeah, that's true.
And a great plot line. I mean, it's fantastic.
That's true.
So for one single image, we've had the parent having a heart attack, this, that, the other.
And it went really viral because there's so many stories that actually came out from that one image.
Yeah. At least for once, we're covering a fake news story that isn't malicious in any way.
Yes.
It's all in good fun, but it is definitely fake. The sharpest eyes in the business right here on Boom Live, busting that one. Well, I guess it doesn't matter where in the world you are. Fake news always seems to follow a tragedy. We jump to Las Vegas now, where a deadly shooting has resulted in a slew of dubious stories. Jency, tell us more.
So there's a trend now that we are very clearly seeing where when there is a terrorist attack, there is a mass shooting. There's a lot of gap by when mainstream news websites have to actually come up by saying that this is a suspect or this is probably the ideology that has led to this.
Yeah, I mean, mainstream news sites take their own sweet time because, of research and actual journalism and their obsession with facts.
Yes, yes.
But
this time gap is often exploited by fake news websites and people who want to come up with various theories, which you usually found on the deep dark web. And so what happened with here is Google and Facebook have always been insisting that they are not aiding in the spread of fake news, but this time they were caught because Google actually had a top link which was linking to this messaging board called 4chan, which is a poor cousin of Reddit.
And an older version of Reddit, a slightly darker corner of the internet, really.
Right. Yeah. And on this, there were several news articles that were linking to this, probably this suspect who they called a Democrat and a leftist. And they said, he could be the one who could be the suspect behind this. Right. Now, there were no evidence to it, and they put this out. In fact, there's another website called Gateway Pundit who went around with this information and wrote an entire story. And later on, they deleted this when they found out that this information was not true. Now, that is Google. Facebook, in the safety check mechanism that they have, there also they had a link which also came up with a suspect, and they said that this could be probably all the victims are white and they are the ones who are suffering from this.
Right.
Thereby alluding to the fact that there is a racial tone to this, or probably there could be an Islamic element to this. But again, Facebook also realized much later on that these were unverified accounts that were put up.
Of course, there's a third leg to this fake news juggernaut, Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter.
What happened
now,
there?
Twitter, you can't say that Twitter did something because Twitter usually does not have control over what its users put out. Now, what they have done is, several Twitter users have picked up this comedian called Sam Hyde, his image with an automatic rifle, and they have put up this image, and they said that he's a suspect and he's the one who went around doing this shooting, and it went viral, and then several people had to come and debunk this on Twitter and say that no, he's a comedian, and he has nothing to do with this.
Wow. So yeah, no limit on how far fake news can go. All of those stories, or at least the ones that Jency's mentioned today, 100% fake. We of course now do know the actual identity of the shooter and his motivations. Now, Jency and I thought we were the superstars of busting fake news, but it looks like other big names are stepping in to fight the good fight. Jency, looks like the Pope himself is going to have his say on fake news. Tell us about that.
He tweeted on September 29th with 13.8 million followers, and the religious leader of billions of people, one of the largest religious group in the world, that is the Catholics. The Pope said that for the World Communications Day in 2018, his message would be released in January itself in 2018. He has chosen the topic fake news and journalism for peace. Now he wants to talk to his large set of followers about the importance of staying away from fake news, how to probably understand that journalism does not mean fake news, and how journalism should be used for purposes of peace. Now it's very interesting. The reason why he probably is doing it, and I'm guessing here, last year in 2016 when Donald Trump came to power, before that there were several stories by fake news websites who said that the Pope actually endorsed Donald Trump for US presidency.
Right, this was part of a slew of endorsements that Donald Trump never actually received.
Never received,
just fake news stories about it.
So I'm guessing probably this could have played some role in it, and probably he wants to set the mood right, and he wants to say that how his followers should actually be more responsible and should consider the impact of fake news and reading fake news on these kind of websites.
Right. Pope Francis, I'm not sure if you're a fan, if you watch our show, but if you do, thank you so much for stepping into the fray. We look forward to hearing from you. All right. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Fact or Fiction. You can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. And if you see a story that looks dubious, kind of shady, maybe 100% fake, WhatsApp it to us on this number, and Jency and his brilliant team will research it for you and bust that fake news. All right, we will see you next time. Bye-bye.